By sheer accident that I stumbled upon the idea that drawing is a cognitive activity. In 2014, while planning for our third seminar, we at the Sadhana Village School decided to do this on drawing. And in order to plan how to go about doing this for the seminar, we spread out all the thousands of drawings, and on observing them, we were able to see a very clear pattern emerging, which clearly showed a parallel between the development stages associated with walking and talking. The drawings were a result of giving total freedom to children as to what, when, where and how to draw. They had complete freedom. Nobody interfered at all with any aspects of the drawing. But having slotted drawing as an artistic activity, we never viewed drawing outside this framework. Drawing needs to be seen as an activity that children do, similar to children play, as an activity that leads to understanding of the world. Because if you leave children alone, free, without interference, the only thing child will do is to activities that make them understand the world as it is. So whatever we call as play is actually a cognitive activity. Similarly, if we don't interfere at all, what children draw would be an activity that enables them to understand the real world in terms of two-dimensional space. And from our studies on children, it has become very clear that all the developmental activities that you see in other things like walking, talking, or that, you will see very similar things in drawing also. Like crawling, you will see scribbling. And then fantastic stages that you see in crawling and then finally walking, you see exactly the kind of things in drawing. So that is why we say drawing is actually a cognitive activity and not an artistic activity. See, the difference between these two is that when you say it's an artistic activity, we are focusing on what the child has drawn. The moment we talk about drawing as a cognitive activity, the focus shifts on about what the child is drawing. So for the child, what is important is to observe the world, and drawing only a means to again and again revisit what they are observing. So play is also similar to that, toy is also similar to that. The moment you give a toy, then that activity will become play. But if there is no toy, the child will recreate the world, and for that he will use whatever is available. So the focus is on the real world, recreation of the real world. So these two things has to be seen also together. You see, another problem with modern people is that they see drawing as an activity, as a fragmented activity which has no connection with play at all. So if you have to understand the child, you have to understand their context, which means their experience, what they are playing, and what they are drawing. All these three things should be studied together to understand the real cognitive importance of, or even to understand what the child is actually, what a child would do if there is no interference from the adults. So if you actually see, the drawings, you will see that the first drawing of that bus is just one line drawing in which the child is, with minimum effort, the child has just drawn this thing. And then there is another thing with the child is that whatever they draw continuously the same thing, minor changes. So there is one stage in which they are constantly exploring the same thing over and over again. And then slowly you would see that from that two-dimensional drawing the child has drawn, you will see that small things are populated in that. For example, the driver would be there. Initially there won't be even the driver, it could be just the thing. But then the driver, the seats, all that would come, and slowly then you will see that more details coming in, and then you will realize that there is a recognition of the fact that three-dimensional aspect of the of the real object, for example the bus, is being attempted. So this particular drawing has the wheels in three dimension, whereas the body is still in two dimension. And this drawing has a 3D and 2D together, but it is still drawn in two dimension. The front and the side is drawn in one plane. But the child is aware that there is something to be added, but the child is yet not reached the stage in which the child can clearly show the three-dimensionality. And the next drawing, you see, it's a very clear three-dimensional drawing in which the bus, it's very clear, it's a three-dimensional drawing. And then you have another drawing in which the child has even attempted a top view, where the child is showing the top, two sides, front and back also. So it's very clear that there is a clear research or learning that is happening when the child is doing this, But the moment we begin to correct and teach them how to draw a car, the observation completely stops, and there they will start focusing on the drawing itself. So an activity like this actually involves all the activities that would help the child to intelligently understand the world, whether it is creativity, observation, all that is taken care of actually.